In this episode, I'll be reviewing Hyundai's Ioniq EV. The Ioniq is a compact 5-door hatchback and is brand new for 2017. With a wheelbase of 106 inches and an overall length of 176 inches, the curb weight is 1,490 kilograms or 3,280 pounds. The limited edition comes with bi-xenon HID headlights and an automatic emergency braking system. The braking system uses a radar sensor at the front of the car. It also has lane departure and blind spot warning systems. The electric motor produces 118 horsepower and 218 foot-pounds of torque. It has a 28 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery located underneath the rear seats. All models have a keyless entry system. To enter the car, you simply walk up to it and you press the button on the door handle. Now let's take a look inside. We'll start with the back of the car. Let's see what kind of accommodation is in the back here. It's a 5-seater car. There's a little bit of pretty good leg room. I'm about 5'11", so it's not too bad. Probably move the front seat a little bit forward. And here you have your rear HVAC controls. Have your vents here, and also underneath the seat you have more vents here as well. Now this is the basic SE model, and the interior is what you'd probably expect from a car of sort of a mid-price category. It's decently finished with cloth seats here, and then the doors are fully finished with a textured plastic. I'm not a huge fan of this sort of style of seating, but I'm sure it's pretty common. This is not a luxury car. It does not feel like a luxury car at this point, although it's well finished. There's this kind of texture in here on the door. That's not too bad. Let's have a seat inside here. So the first thing that goes on when you get behind the wheel here, you've got a nice leather wrapped steering wheel. It's actually quite nice. The bottom of it is flattened off. I love that because I have a lot of trouble in some cars fitting my legs underneath the wheel. But in this case the wheel is quite large. You got your big airbag here. On the left side you have buttons for voice command, different modes, volume controls for your stereo and your phone, and then your phone operations. And then on the right side here, I guess you have menus, cruise control, and then inputs here. On the left side of the steering wheel here we have traction control. We have your proximity warning, which is basically your blind spot indicator, and it also has a light that flashes on your mirror as well. Then down here you have some of your charging functions. So this actually opens up your EV charging port, and this can control some of the charging functions. So this is automatic. So when you plug in your charger, it'll just start charging. When it finishes charging you, it'll just shut off by itself, or you can shut it off manually here. So let's say you're partway through a charge and you want to go somewhere, you just would press this button off at that point. When you come in, you see that it has a keyless entry. After you get in, you press this power button. That turns on the nav system and the other systems of the car. There we go. This is a 7-inch TFT display here, and then underneath that you have your radio controls, AM, FM, SXM, different media depending on if you have files that you want to look for, tracking, seeking. This is a map button, phone, and different setup buttons. Let's have a look at this. So this is your basic functions that you've got here that you can set languages, set your Bluetooth, navigation, all that kind of stuff. And we go to map mode here. This car has a really interesting feature. It shows you where the charging stations are in proximity to where you are. Whoops, so let's just move down here. You can see how as we move on the map, we see charging stations. If you press the EV button, that will change your display. Now you've got your EV information, your range that's remaining, nearby stations, and energy information there. You can see that. While you're in your EV mode, you can go to charging and climate settings. And what you can do here is you can specify when the car is going to charge, what time the car is going to charge. Once you've got it plugged into your charger, you can specify the time, so you can do a start time and an end time, AM or PM, and then you can set it for the days of the week, Sunday through Saturday. You can also set preheating in here in the car. Now, so what would happen on this cold climate or comfort package that they have with the SE and also the limited edition, you can preheat the car if it's cold outside while it's plugged into your wall AC power supply. You got different driving modes here. So here you have your eco mode, your normal mode, and your sport mode. This is kind of a useful feature, I think, because you don't have to, you can just set it and forget it. If you're really looking for maximum range on a trip, well, you'd put it into eco mode. If you're looking for just normal driving, you would, and you're not worried about the charging, let's say you're going to charge it when you get home, you're doing a short trip, well, you just put it in normal mode. And if you want to boot around, then you put it in sport mode. Here you can set up the climate control, whether it's going to be in eco mode or not, eco or normal mode. When you're coasting, you can set different levels of regeneration. There's three different levels of regeneration. Now, obviously you can set it on this panel, but this car also features paddles at the back of the steering wheel here. Use these paddles to activate the different levels of energy braking. Let's get back out of that. So that's everything there. And then this bottom panel here is just for your climate controls, your heat, your temperature, fan settings. You've got air conditioning, which is actually a heat pump in this car, heating, defrosting, and that sort of thing. And you've got an auto mode. Now down here, this control is kind of interesting. Very simple. You have your reverse button, your park button, and your drive button. Really, really simple. Seems to be a neutral control of some sort here too. Back here, you have your heated seat controls. This will give you your different drive modes from eco to normal to sport. This is going to be your heated steering wheel control, and this is your hill hold. So if you're on a hill, you can press this button and it will hold the car for you so it doesn't roll back, and then when you put your foot on the accelerator, it'll start. And I've forgotten to mention, this has a heated steering wheel, which is pretty neat. Quite a nice luxury feature in a car like this. Here we have an electronic parking brake, so you can actually hear the servo when it goes off. It'll lock your back wheels. Now in the limited model, you have a wireless device charger here, so you can plug in your smartphone. On this car, you have two 12-volt outlets, an auxiliary input for your radio, and a USB port also for charging and for transmission. And then in the cubby here, you have another little port, and that's a USB port as well. There's a very deep cubby right here. Got a couple cup holders here, obviously, in this car, so that's well equipped. Obviously it has a glove box, good sized glove box, and the doors have door pockets. Let me just open that door there for you. So you got to kind of put your water bottle down there, your water bottle, a little bit of storage here, a little bit of storage up here as well. So it's well designed, very, very straightforward. Let's talk about your stereo system here. This is an Infinity stereo system. Let's turn it on here. Where are we at? AM, FM, oh, X. There we go. Sounds pretty good. So if you want, you can also select these through this toggle over here. It's pretty nice. That's pretty easy to use. I like the coffee house. That's a good station. I saw your father, he wouldn't talk to me. Sounds pretty decent, actually. Till he could tell that I was here to stay. It's probably copyrighted music, so I better turn that off. On the limited model, you have an auto dimming mirror, electrochromic mirror, which you don't have here. You have a little cubby up here for your sunglasses. You got your map lights, and in this car we do not have a sunroof, but you have to get the limited car to have the sunroof. Alright, let's get out and have a look around. Okay, so this is your charging port here. Standard charging port on the side of the car. Let's go around and have a look here. Now in the back, you'll find a nice little storage space. I've got the dealer license plate there. We've got a cover which slides over. That's kind of nice for privacy. Pretty standard fare for a hatchback. Should mention you've got your split folding rear seats, so you have a 60-40 split, right? So that's really handy. Then here, let's have a look at this charging unit here. It's called Blue Drive Technology. This is just an emergency charger. More than likely, you'll be using your 240 volt charger at home. Yeah, the charging times for level 1 are 8 hours for this car. Level 2 is 4 hours. Level 3 is 24 minutes for an 80% charge and 30 minutes for 100% charge for this car. This car has an approximate range of 200 kilometers, but you can get apparently more range out of it if you use the regeneration. So that's a pretty smart thing. One of the guys who works here was telling me he gets like 250 kilometers out of a charge by doing that. All right, let's have a look at this. There we go. Here's your main electric drive unit, and as you can see, if you look around, it looks a lot like a conventional car. Not a whole lot different on the front end, and I think that's one of the smart things about this car is they based it on a platform. They've created a platform basically which is very versatile, so they can go from a hybrid to a plug-in hybrid to a full electric car with this one platform, which is extremely smart. Thanks. Alright, we're all good. Alright guys, let's go for a ride. Take this puppy out. Stick it in drive. Boom. Off we go. Easy as pie. This is kind of interesting because I don't have my foot on the gas and the thing is creeping. So it's kind of like a conventional car. So far so good. Got to adjust the mirrors. I've got the AC cranked up because it's kind of warm today. I think I'm going to make a right here. Wow, not bad. Feels like, so far it feels like a super quiet conventional car. I doubt you'd notice a lot of difference between this and any other car you drive, except perhaps that doesn't have any engine noise that I've heard so far. Smooth smooth. Very, very smooth. Wow. I think we're going to go over the Bay Street Bridge here. Let's take it for a little tootle. I'm on normal mode right now. Brakes feel good. They're fine. Yeah, if you've been in a late model car, you know they're all quite high tech these days, you know, with their fancy consoles and TFT screens and all that kind of stuff. So this is no different. It's really much in the same vein as all those others. Here we're going over the Bay Street Bridge right now. Okay, I'm trying out the brakes. Apparently. Serves me right for looking over at the gorge there. Let me see if I can get a shot of the gorge while we're at it here. It's pretty nice. So I may have mentioned to you earlier on in the review that this car has basically two different models, the SE and the Limited. And the Limited model has a few more goodies, but the SE model is actually not that limited. It's got a lot of standard features like backup camera. You've got your cold weather package if you get the SE with the CC package, which has the battery temperature monitoring system. They all have the backup cameras, as I mentioned. They all have the same stereo system, same heat pump. They do have the auto braking assist system on the Limited Edition, which is nice. So that's just a collision avoidance thing. You have your blind spot warning system in all these models. But the biggest difference would be with the Limited Edition that you get the sunroof, you get full leather treatment on the seats, leather surfaces. And, you know, it's not like a high-end luxury car. But then on the other hand, the price point is not high-end luxury either, right? And so you're really paying your money for all this technology, the technology that makes this car go, and not in the fancy interior. Not that the interior is not fine, it's just fine, but that's my observation about it. But I think, you know, when you look at the price point, it's somewhere around 35,000 to 41,000 Canadian, I think, for this car, starting with the SE and going to the Limited model. It's very modest pricing. I'm actually really impressed that they can pack this much technology into a car at this price point. I think they're doing what Tesla is trying to do, which is make something which is really well done and really affordable. Basing this car on a common platform, the Ioniq platform, which covers your hybrids, your hybrid plus, and your electric car, that really helps them with their packaging costs, their tooling costs. This car is also made of steel. It's not made of fancy composite materials or anything like that. It's not aluminum. If you think about it down the road, that might come in handy, because if you have a collision repair on a steel car, that's one thing. On an aluminum car, that's a whole other thing. Granted, this car is a little bit smaller than some of the other cars that are on the market. It's just a 5-passenger car with a hatch at the back. I think it has about 24 cubic feet of cargo room. I think it's 600 or so liters, 650 liters of cargo room, so it's not bad. It's got a good rear cargo space. I want to check out sport mode of this thing. Put it into sport, and off we go. Let's see what it does. Holy crap. I got a bit of wheel spin there. That was good. This thing comes on 205 Michelin like super economy tires, right? They're low resistance. I'm not sure they have a hell of a lot of traction, to be quite honest with you, but they have low rolling resistance, which makes them great for the energy consumption. Yeah, this is definitely a front wheel drive car. There's a little bit of torque steer in here, I can feel when you boot it. Did you notice how quiet that was? That's crazy. I mean, you don't even hear anything. You just hear the tires, basically. I'll try it again. I'll boot it a little bit. You can hear it. That's it. That's all that happens. You just go faster. I can hear some wheel spin, definitely. It's pretty hilarious. I'm doing what, like 35 kilometers an hour, and I punched it and I got a little bit of wheel spin there. Okay, well that's kind of interesting. If you're using this car mainly for going to work and back, commuting, no problem. If you've got a level 2 charger somewhere where you can get to that, you can do a full charge in 4 hours on this thing. And if you got a level 3 charge, you can do that in 20 minutes or so. You can get pretty much everything you need in 25 minutes. So it doesn't take you very long. If your priority is to get from 0 to 60 in 3 seconds flat, and money is no object, well sure, you know, your choice is obvious. You can get yourself the premium luxury brand in electric cars. But if you're looking for something which is a practical alternative to your average family car, this is much more appropriate for that segment of the market. And as such, I would definitely recommend this. In fact, I would be perfectly happy driving this car as a daily driver. There's nothing wrong with it. It's very smooth. So you have to kind of weigh these pros and cons and think about what your priorities are, as always with a major purchase. But I would certainly recommend this car to you as a replacement for your gas engine daily driver, and geez, even as a hybrid alternative. You know, if you don't need that unlimited range basically of a hybrid car, and you're looking more for a city type car that you can take on trips that have opportunities to recharge your batteries on, this would work really well. Now, as I've been tooling around here, the energy level has stayed pretty consistent. I've gone down a little bit, but I did a couple of accelerations, hard accelerations with the sport mode, but we're at 35% now, and I think we started off at about 37%, so it really hasn't changed a whole lot. Okay, it's time to power it down. Just show you here, it's the backup camera, so we're going to put it in park. There, it's in park. Now you can see I put the parking brake on, so I'm all good. There's our energy information still. We got our air conditioning on, but we got 35% left. Gives you your range left, your nearby stations and proximity, so you've got satellite working for you here. That's part of your GPS system, so it tells you that you've got a charging station in 130 meters. So that's pretty cool. So we'll just turn the power off here. Great. I hope you really enjoyed this little review of the Hyundai Ioniq. I'm back here at the dealership. I want to thank Victoria Hyundai for letting me take the car out for a test drive today. That was really nice. And special thanks to Eric, one of the sales guys, and Chris, who's their media specialist. They were very good to me, very welcoming, and let me have some quality time with this thing, and didn't pressure me at all, just let me learn about it, and super helpful. So if you are in the Victoria area and you're looking for a good dealership, come on down to Victoria Hyundai. They'll take good care of you here. And in the meantime, I really hope you enjoyed this mini review and test drive of the Hyundai Ioniq. I really enjoyed the car, actually. It surprised me. Hangs together well. It seems well built, very quiet. All the systems work as you would hope they would. I don't really know what else to tell you about it, except if you're in the market for one, I think you should put this one on your list, and I think the price is right for these things at the moment. And I'll be looking forward to seeing some other fine cars come on the market so we can compare and contrast. But that's it for me for today, and thanks again for watching, everybody. Take care.